Thales of Miletus, the ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician, stood on the shores of his hometown Miletus, gazing out at the vast expanse of the Aegean Sea. The salty breeze ruffled his cloak as he contemplated the mysteries of the world. His mind engaged in profound thoughts that would shape the course of Western philosophy. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across the water. Thales, known for his interest in natural phenomena, was lost in contemplation as the waves lapped at the shore. Miletus, a bustling city of traders and thinkers, had always been a place that inspired him, surrounded by the sea that held both beauty and secrets. As he stood there, a group of curious onlookers approached. Drawn by the reputation of the wise Thales, they gathered around him, eager to hear the thoughts that occupied his brilliant mind. Thales, however, remained focused on the sea, the rhythmic sound of the waves serving as a backdrop to his musings. His thoughts drifted towards the concept of water, the fundamental substance that he believed to be the essence of all things. Lost in the abstraction of his ideas, Thales contemplated the interconnectedness of water and life, pondering the deep questions that had occupied his philosophical pursuits. In the distance, a ship sailed gracefully, its silhouette against the setting sun a symbol of endless exploration that captivated the ancient Greeks. Thales, still lost in contemplation, pointed towards the ship and remarked to the gathered crowd, "Water, in its many forms, governs the world. It is the source of life and the essence of all things." His words resonated with those who listened, sparking conversations that would ripple through the centuries. Thales, the man of Miletus, continued to gaze at the sea, his mind forever reaching into the depths of thought, much like the endless expanse of the Aegean stretching out before him. Thales was born in Miletus in Greek Ionia, a vibrant city that bridged the ancient world between East and West, a place that would eventually become part of modern-day Turkey. Born in the year 620 BCE, Thales' origins were shrouded in mystery and debate. While he is often considered a Milesian, there lingered a hint of uncertainty about his ancestry. Some, like Herodotus, suggest that Thales might have been of Phoenician descent, adding a layer of intrigue to the philosopher's enigmatic persona. As we delve into the legacy of Thales, a mythic figure emerges from the annals of history, his authenticity fading into the mists of time as we explore his philosophical contributions. It is essential to bear in mind the elusive nature that surrounds Thales, for he is both a figure of wisdom and a subject of perpetual debate. Legends say that Thales is the founder of the constellation Ursa Minor and the North Star. One could imagine him giving sage-like advice to the mariners of Miletus, as they use it for their nautical navigation. It is believed that the mariners were using Ursa Minor's larger counterpart, Ursa Major, until Thales came around. Thales, being a man of astronomy, has led to the inspiration of a story which eventually became absorbed into a book of fables written by Aesop. It is titled The Astrologer. In various renditions of the tale, a common thread weaves through the narrative. An archetypal stargazer engrossed in the contemplation of the celestial realms ends up falling into a well, or even a muddy hole in the ground. And then a witty woman, or even local townsfolk, come come to scold the astrologer. This story is quite amusing, especially to Socrates, who would often jest about it. Here's a quote from the Theaetetus, a dialogue from Plato. "Why, take the case of Thales, Theodorus. While he was studying the stars and looking upwards, he fell into a pit, and a neat, witty Thracian servant girl jeered at him. They say because he was so eager to know the things in the sky that he could not see what was there before him at his very feet. The same jest applies to all who pass their lives in philosophy." Socrates makes a good point. Most philosophers spend a lot of time with their heads in the clouds on big ideas. If one were to stay so engrossed in contemplation, they might fall so foolishly as Thales does. According to the ancient historian Herodotus, Thales is said to have predicted a solar eclipse that occurred around the year 585 BCE, during the war between the Medes and Illyrians. Thales, known for his interest in astronomy, is believed to have applied his knowledge to foresee the celestial event. The tale goes that he used his understanding of the cycles of the moon and its orbit to calculate when a solar eclipse would occur. The ability to predict celestial events was undoubtedly an impressive feat in his time, and demonstrated the early application of scientific reasoning. It's important to note that while the story is intriguing, the details surrounding Thales' method and accuracy of his prediction are not well documented. The accounts have been passed down through ancient sources, and the specific techniques Thales might have employed remain speculative. Nevertheless, the narrative underscores Thales' contributions to early Greek scientific thought, and his attempts to explain natural phenomenon through rational inquiry. It is considered possible that Thales visited Egypt, since Miletus had a permanent colony there, a colony called Naucratis. It was a city and a trading post located on the west side of the Nile River. Naucratis was the first, and for much of its early history, the only permanent Greek settlement in Egypt, serving as a nexus for the interchange of Greek and Egyptian art and culture. The Egyptians had little to offer in the way of abstract thought, as compared to the Greeks, but their skill in engineering and mathematics is impressive. If Thales did visit Egypt, it is assumed he picked up a few tricks along the way. One legend states that while he was in Egypt, he measured the pyramids using its shadow. He reportedly used the concept of similar triangles to measure the height of the pyramids, by comparing the lengths of their shadows to lengths of shadows cast by a stick of known height. By calculating the ratio of the lengths of the shadows, Thales could determine the height of the pyramids without directly measuring them. Thales might have come up with his famous theorem in Egypt, Thales' theorem, which is also known as proportionality theorem. The theorem states that if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle intersecting the other two sides in distinct points, then the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. There is a term called the first principle, or arche, which means beginning, origin, or source. It is the ultimate underlying substance or principle of reality. In Greek philosophy, A plethora of philosophers contemplate and propose a fundamental substance. Thales proposes an arche. Thales' arche is a hypothesis that the nature of all things, or all matter, is made from water. It was a new and exciting idea, an original thought. Water is full of potential, or has the potential to change into a myriad of things. One could imagine Thales contemplating water as he wipes off the condensation of a cold drink. Or maybe he observes water evaporating on a hot summer day, or watch it freeze in the dead of winter. One could imagine Thales observing a blacksmith melt hot metal into liquid form, or even Thales observing scorching hot magma coming out of the earth. Or rather, all of these things were part of his contemplation. To think and observe how Thales does, how could one not see water as the prevailing substance that exists in a multitude of things and natural phenomena? Thales envisioned water being the primary building block of the physical world, and was the first of his kind to do so well before the particles at the atomic level began to be discovered. Thales lived into about a ripe old age of 78. It is said that he died of heat stroke and thirst while watching the games at the 58th Olympiad in the year 545 BCE. Successful as Thales was in life, he became the founder of a new school of philosophy. Historians call it the Milesian school, and had attracted two disciples, Anaximander and Anaximenes. Their story will be for another time. Thales is the first person about whom we know of to propose explanations of natural phenomena, which were materialistic rather than mythological or theological. His theories were new, bold, exciting, comprehensible, and possible because he gave no role to mythical beings. Thales' theories could be refuted, arguments could be put forward, and attempts to discredit them. Thales' theories were rational and scientific. Aristotle recognized Thales as the first philosopher. He speaks of him in one of his works titled Metaphysics. Critiquing his hypothesis in a scientific manner, Thales' question, "What is the basic material of the cosmos?" initiated a lineage of philosophical exploration, with thinkers following suit and proposing their own ideas on the matter. This concludes the episode on Thales. Join me as we continue our journey through the annals of Greek philosophy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. This is Hermes. See you next time.